All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little Golden State Warrior preseason reaction video. Warriors beat the Kings in the preseason 116-115. What a game it was. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And also the Krug Show in this video brought to you by Mojo Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Make sure you use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit and enter for a chance to win a Brock Purdy or a Nick Bosa jersey that we'll give away on Thanksgiving night. Man, the Warrior game was fun tonight. The Warriors beat the Kings 116-115 and in the preseason. And Warriors are now 4-0 in the preseason. Kings are 0-4 in the preseason. Next up for Golden State is Friday night against the Spurs. And then Tuesday night, Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns roll in opening night, and it should be fun to watch. Warriors and Suns on opening night. And will the Warrior fans give KD a nice reception? Hopefully they will. But what a fun night tonight in San Francisco as Steph Curry winds up with 30 points, 16 points in the fourth quarter on 5 of 7 field goals in his 15th year. Now, you say, why is Steph Curry playing in the fourth quarter at the end in a preseason game? Well, the Warriors are trying to, get this thing going quick, right? They're trying to build rapport. They're trying to kind of build a good vibe. This was their final dress rehearsal, or one of their final dress rehearsals for opening night, and so they wanted to go out there and try to compete and try to win and try to bring their team together. They got a bunch of new faces, and they're trying to bring it all together. And I thought it was smart for Steve Kerr to go out there and say, "Hey, let's play this one straight, and let's try to build a chemistry with a lot of our new players." And they do have a number of new players, and it was just a really fun game. Curry wound up with 30 points, as I said, 16 in the fourth, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and he hit the game-winning three over De'Aaron Fox, a little step back three, with 5 seconds left, and that was the difference in the ball game. The Warriors are trying to develop an identity as a team, and man, they if tonight is any indication, their identity is that they're fun to watch. They started Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, the rookie Trace Jackson Davis. We'll talk about him in a bit. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. That was their starting five tonight against Sacramento. And they came from 10 points down in the final 18 minutes. Golden State in this game was 18 points down, and they came back and won the game. And just as I said, just a really fun game to watch. Warriors trailed by 13 points going to the fourth quarter. And what can you say? There were so many positives to talk about in this game. I could probably talk about this game for a half hour. It was phenomenal to watch. It really was. First of all, let's talk a little bit about some of the numbers. Sacramento won the points in the paint by 14, 58-44. They kind of dominated inside. Golden State, though, won on the glass. They were +7 on the glass. And you look at some of the final numbers, almost a triple-double for Domantas Sabonis. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Big night for Keegan Murray. Murray's going to have a huge year. He had 24 points and 8 rebounds. He looked great. De'Aaron Fox had 25 and 7 for Sacramento. Herder had 12. Davion Mitchell, who's one of my favorite players in the whole league, had 14 off the bench. Sacramento got out on the break a little bit better than the Warriors in this game. They beat them on the break. They beat the Warriors on the break 20-8, so they were +12 on the break. But overall, it was a really nice performance from Golden State. They just never kept fighting and clawing in this game. Golden State shot the ball well from three, better than Sacramento did. Golden State shot 52% from beyond the arc. It was one of those games where Golden State piled up over 30 assists, 31 assists, 22 turnovers. Imagine how Golden State would have won this game if they hadn't turned it over 22 times. That really stood out. But a couple things really stood out in this game. One, Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga is going to have a really good year. I'm so glad they didn't trade Kuminga. There was some talk in the offseason that they were going to move Kuminga, And I don't know if they had the conviction to not move him or if they just didn't get an offer they wanted. I'm just thankful they didn't move him. Don't trade Jonathan Kuminga. The guy has so much upside. This is one of the greatest athletes in the league right now. He keeps getting bigger and stronger and faster and better. And that's just like what's obvious. He's also getting way, way smarter. He's becoming just a much more refined basketball player. It would have been a disaster if they traded Jonathan Kuminga in the offseason just because, Kuminga was ready to play minutes last year, but he wasn't ready come playoff time. And it was really painfully obvious, like immediately as soon as the playoffs began. And so what did Kerr do? He sat him down. He didn't play him, and he kind of banished him to the bench. And it really was kind of uncomfortable to watch, the body language of Kuminga. He wasn't sure what to think or what to say or if he should say or do anything. And he just wasn't developed enough as a player. And we'll see come playoff time this year how things go. But I just think Kuminga looks so much. First of all, he looks bigger than a year ago. Last year, he was about 6'8", 6'9". This year, he looks 6'10", 6'11". He literally looks bigger. He still is one of the best athletes in the entire league. He has absolutely lit it up in this preseason, and he's got tons of improvement still left to go in his game. But the upside potential of Jonathan Kuminga is amazing. They were so fortunate to get this guy in the lottery, and he's such an incredible athlete. He can go to the hole, he can finish in the lane. He's got a very much a quickly developing face up game, an outside shot. Before he didn't make anybody better. Now you can see guys can play off of Kuminga. He understands where to pass, how to play. He just his overall basketball IQ has improved by leaps and bounds in just a short amount of time. And I just think he's going to be one of the bust out players in the league this year. I think his numbers are going to skyrocket. I think he is the key for Golden State if they're trying to win a title, and they are. They're trying to get back to the finals and win a title. And Kuminga can lead them there. Now, obviously, they still have Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. And we'll talk about CP3. He was great in this game, too. They've got veterans, Dario Saric. We'll get into Saric in a minute. But man, Kuminga and Moody are the young lifeblood of this team that these guys are getting nothing but better. And like Moody looks so much more explosive than he looked a year ago. And Kuminga does as well. And then you mix in the basketball intelligence, and he totally understands how to play now. Whether it be a two-man game where he's playing on the ball, off the ball. Kuminga looked lost at times. His athleticism has always stood out, but at times he's looked lost in the past on the floor just because playing off the ball is a refined skill. And you see veterans know how to play off the ball. Young players rarely do. And he was like many, many young players. He didn't look comfortable off the ball. Now he looks comfortable, and he can defend multiple positions. He's a better passer. He sees the floor. He understands what to do with the ball when he gets it. He's just you can see it every time down the floor. He makes the smart basketball play. It's like finally the light bulb went on. He's played enough ball to now he's had enough reps where now he gets it. Now he gets it. Now he understands how to play well in not just a two-man game. He can play the full five-man game. He understands how to move off the ball. He understands shot selection, what's a good shot, what's not a good shot, when to assert himself in the game, when to lay back. He just has improved so much that Jonathan Kuminga has enough talent where he may be the Warriors' second best player before the year's done. And if that happens, he could elevate them to be a championship contender all by himself. I mean, I know that's putting a lot on Kuminga, but Jonathan Kuminga you knew he was going to be much improved, but to watch it in real time, to see him in this preseason emerge, it's just beautiful to watch. And now, there's a joy about him too, where, he seems like he's having fun. And when you have young, talented players that are having fun, it just lifts up the whole team. So, number one, Jonathan Kuminga. Wow. That's all I got to say. I mean, we could sum it up that with just that one sentence. Jonathan Kuminga, wow. But the improvement is what really, really stands out. All right, let's get to another awesome story. Trace Jackson Davis. Tonight, he's going up against some Domantas Sabonis, who's one of the best big men in the entire league. And he held his own. He's bumping bodies with him. Trace Jackson Davis played 4 years at Indiana. He knows how to play. He had 13 points, 10 rebounds on 6 of 14 from the field. Um, if this guy just hangs out on the baseline, I mean, he had a couple back-to-back dunks. He's a great athlete. He's long. He reminds me a lot. He's got a lot of the same skills that Draymond Green has. He can pass. He's got huge hands, so he can pass the basketball. Then he played 4 years in the Big Ten, so he knows how to play. He knows how to defend. He's there's nuances to playing in the NBA that rookies rarely have that Trace Jackson Davis already has. So this is one of the greatest. This has got to be one of the greatest second round picks in the history of the franchise. And this is a franchise that took Monte Ellis in round 2 and Gilbert Arenas and others. But Trace Jackson Davis at 57? You got to be kidding me. I mean, this guy is damn good. He's going to be able to play lots of minutes as a rookie because he knows how to play. He can block shots. He can rebound. He understands the pick and roll game. His pick and pop game is still very much in the raw developmental stages because at Indiana, he just never had any kind of a face-up game. He just never shot the ball that way. But he's got a nice little baby hook on the block. He's strong. He's the son of Dale Davis, who was a phenomenal athlete. So he's got a lot of that athleticism passed down to him. And he just has basketball skills. He knows how to play. He can rebound. He can block shots. He can pass. I mean, think about that for a second. You're 6'9", 6'10", and you can jump. You're athletic. You understand body positioning. You can set picks on the perimeter. You can roll to the bucket. You can finish with either hand. Huge hands too. This guy can hold the ball like a grape and just kind of, he's going to be a force passing out of the post because he can control the ball with one hand. I mean, he literally can make ball fakes with the ball in his hand, and he can fake it and keep it in his hand. He's got massive hands. Kind of reminds me of watching James Worthy. Remember James Worthy with the Lakers in the 80s? Had those huge hands on the break. But this guy doesn't have a Worthy type game, but he's big and he can block shots and he can rebound and he can do so many things and he can play winning basketball and he understands shot selection. He doesn't take a bunch of bad shots. He plays under control. What a find. I mean, what a find. At 57, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Wiggins looked good tonight. He had 16. Wiggins is if Wiggins can just stay on the floor this year, and last year obviously he had the family issue, and so he was gone for so long. They need him. He's in his prime. He's one of the few guys that's absolutely in the prime of his career still, and they need him to have a big year, and he looks like he's going to have a big year. Dario Saric missed 2 free throws at the end that could have tied the game, or I think maybe Golden State was down 1. He could have given Golden State a lead, and instead he missed them both. And I felt bad for the guy, but he missed them both. But Dario Saric is going to be a really nice addition. He knows how to play the game. Another guy with a high basketball IQ. He had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He knows how to play. He can play the pick and pop game. He's got a lot of the same traits that David West had. So he can pass. He knows what's a good play, what's not. He's played a lot in the league. He's not old. That was a great addition. Now, he's not quite the athlete that he was when he came into the league because of the knee surgery, and he doesn't quite have that fluidity and mobility that he had a few years ago. But this guy can hit threes. He knows how to play. He's got good shot selection. He knows how to pass. He can make other people better. He's going to play a lot of minutes for them, and he's going to play well. So he really stood out tonight. And then I'll tell you the other guy who really stood out was Chris Paul. Chris Paul. Now, who knows if Chris Paul can play up tempo all season long and stay healthy? But, man, he played tonight in the closing lineup. He didn't start. He came off the bench. He played in the closing lineup. He was +9. That was the best plus minus of anybody on the floor for either team. Chris Paul just knows how to play. He's a winner. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Chris Paul is going to make the Warriors a smarter team. He's also an awesome competitor. You forget about that with CP3. He's just a great competitor. This guy, he's made a ton of money. Guy's probably made over $100 million on the floor. So it's not about the money anymore, and it's not about the contract. It's not about personal this or that. It's about the win. The guy shows up to beat you. And when you have a bunch of guys on the team that show up to win the game, it's amazing how, his teams have always won. Everywhere he goes, the win percentage of that team goes up. And you can see why when you watch him. And he's fitting in just perfectly. And, that's the other thing. I got to credit Kerr and these coaches. They create an environment where everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction. And, they communicate. Kerr does a great job of communicating with the players, the veterans, the young guys, identifying, kind of describing what their role is and keeping the dialogue going. CP3 already looks like he loves being a Warrior, and the Warriors love having him on the team. He just is fun to watch. So 9 assists for Chris Paul, 13 points, 6 rebounds. He's just a winner, and he's going to hit big shots, and he's going to get other people involved, and what you trade on the defensive end, he's going to more than make up for with his basketball IQ, his intellect, his leadership, his toughness, his competitiveness. The guy is just damn good. And then I think it has to be mentioned, not only did the Warriors come from 18 down to win this game, not only were they 13 down going to the fourth, not only were they 10 points down with 5 minutes to play, they played this game without Draymond Green. He was in civvies. No Usman Garuba, who I think is going to be an outstanding two-way big for them. No Kevon Looney, who's obviously every Warrior fan knows the value of Kevon Looney. No Rudy Gay. He didn't play tonight. And no Brandon Pajemski, the rookie out of Santa Clara, who is a hell of a player. Pajemski knows how to play. He's got a floater. He's a great shooter. He knows how to play. And on a team that plays the game the right way, he fits in and is going to get a lot of minutes. So, yeah, is Draymond older and Steph older and Clay older and they're further past their prime? Yeah, they are. And is Chris Paul old? Yeah, he's 38. So they got some age here. Rudy Gay's old. But between Pajemski, Rudy Gay, Usman Garuba, Chris Paul, Dario Saric, Trace Jackson Davis, you got 6 new players there that are all going to make major contributions. And then when you look at the evolution of Kuminga and Moody to boot, the Warriors have a lot of good things going on. So can't wait to see how this season plays out. They already look like they're building a tremendous chemistry. I just loved watching the game last night. The vibe in the arena was awesome. I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV, but it just comes through the TV set. But wow. That's all I got to say about last night or tonight. I'm taping it after the game. Man, if Kuminga can continue to improve and Trace Jackson Davis and Saric and CP3 and Garuba and Rudy Gay and Pajemski can be added to the mix, the Warriors are smarter. They're deeper. They were joking in the postgame, Monty Poole was, about how they're all tied together. That's a big part of it. Everybody's not, it's not a bunch of guys going off in their own directions. It's a true team. And there's a lot of good vibes. So I don't know. I don't know if a team this old can stay together, or not stay together, but stay healthy until June of next year. That's a long time. It's October 18th. And it's like they're not going to contend for a title till May and June of 2024. It's a lot of basketball that has to be played. But as far as their vibe is awesome. And as far as Kuminga's improvement, he is awesome. And then you look at Trace Jackson Davis. You added not just a big man, you added a youthful big man with youthful legs, but he's got a developed game. I don't know that you could have picked a better player in the draft than Trace Jackson Davis at 57. And then Pajemski knows how to play. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I as a Warrior fan, I feel awesome about watching this team. They're 4-0 in the preseason. They're coming together. Steph still looks awesome. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But what a win for the Warriors. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And check out Mojo Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Make sure you use that promo code Krug, KRUEG, and you'll get $100 matched on your first deposit, and it automatically enters you into a raffle to win a Nick Bosa or a Brock Purdy jersey on Thanksgiving night after Niners Seahawks. So thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.